When I arrived, it's a massive scene. You can see evidence placards all the way down the street. I think there was over 40 casings recovered. A typical drive-by shooting is not like that.
We never thought this would happen to a family member.
This one was big.
September 25th, 2019, 1:21 a.m. Ramiro and Rosalva Reyes pulled up in front of their house. It had been a long night for the couple. Rosalva's mother had just died at the hospital. A painful goodbye. For the last decade, Rosalva had taken care of her ailing diabetic mother. The Reyeses were exhausted, mentally, emotionally. They didn't see anything coming. Dozens of shots fired from another car. First, at the bright purple Charger Rosalva was riding in. Her niece driving, her sister in the back. Rosalva up front was the only woman hit. These are the evidence photos.
When it happened, I was actually on the phone with my son, and I heard the shootings, but I didn't process that there were shootings.
Roxana Villarreal, the Reyes' only child. Her special needs son was at her parents' house that night. While the Reyeses were at the hospital, the teen's father, Roxana's ex-husband, was watching him.
I was on the phone with my son the whole time, and I just heard a lot of people scream, which was my cousin and my aunt that ran inside, and I still didn't know anything.
Seconds after Rosalva was shot, Ramiro was hit as he got out of his green truck, rushing to his wife's side. Rosalva lay dying in the street. Ramiro had collapsed. When Roxana's ex-husband came running out of the house, he was shot. He's the only survivor. 1 year later, this is the first time Roxana has returned.
It's difficult to just see the area because it's the last place they were alive.
40 years of birthdays here, Christmases, backyard barbecues. Ramiro immigrated to Houston from Mexico in '79 because he wanted better for his family. A year later, Rosalva came. They worked hard, never asked for anything. A modest but happy life raising Roxana here. Her education was priority number one, and any extra money that came in, Ramiro saved for traveling.
We went to El Salvador, we went all over Europe, we even went to Morocco. My dad was always outgoing. He liked to take chances, and my mother was more of a homebody, more conservative.
The Reyeses focused on family, no criminal record, not so much as a speeding ticket, which is why Detective Jack Farrell can't figure out who would want to kill these grandparents in their 60s.
Evidence that we have now suggests that there was at least 3 shooters. It appears that they drove by once, and then they circled around, came back, and shot again.
What evidence? There's a lot in this case investigators don't want to release, but they gave us this surveillance video, never seen before. Top left corner, that's the Reyes' vehicles and the shooters. But the headlights are so bright you can't make out the cars or the suspects. This is the moment the Reyes' were murdered. Watch that stray bullet hit the neighbor's SUV. It's the only camera that captures the shooting, and the shooters drive away in the other direction.
80% of what we do is normally drug-related homicides. These people, it doesn't appear that they were engaged in any kind of criminal activity, minding their own business when they're killed. That's what bothers me about this is, like, you know, this could be my parents, you know. Why?
I don't think anyone in their right state of mind did this. So I don't know whether it was drugs or gangs, money issues, or mistaken identity.
Were they targeted?
It appears so. I mean, it looks very intentional. The video is not good, but it looks very intentional. It's controlled fire. We found video where you have audio, so like somebody's Ring doorbell camera a couple of streets over picked up the sound. Somebody has discipline when they're firing. They're not just randomly firing. These
are the details Detective Farrell tried to push out with help from Crime Stoppers back in March. But on the day the $5,000 reward was announced for tips leading to an arrest in the Reyes' double murder, Harris County shut down, infected by the spread of COVID-19. This case didn't get the attention it needed, and it's not the only one. Unsolved cases in Harris County are hurting for help from the public. Fewer tips are coming in, Farrell says. COVID almost stopped Roxana from flying in to do the story. She lives in Colorado now. But the pandemic won't keep her from fighting for her parents for their case to be solved.
I'm hoping that it'll reach someone's heart and someone's conscience and someone will do the right thing. And I'm never going to lose hope. I'm never going to lose hope that they find them, whether it's in a year, in 5 years.
Most of our homicides, somebody's doing something or they're somewhere they shouldn't be when something bad happens to them. Whereas these people were at home in the middle of the night, coming home from seeing a family member that had died in the hospital. You know, it's like double tragedy.
Roxana is reminded of that pain every day, emptiness because they're gone, and aching grief because the killers haven't been caught. Ramiro and Rosalva Reyes would have celebrated their 40th wedding anniversary 1 month later. 4 decades of building a life together, destroyed in seconds.
I want to know why. You know, I want to know why. I know eventually whoever did this eventually have to find a way to forgive them, or else it'll eat me up for the rest of my life. But I just want to know why. That's what I would like to know, like why. And I asked myself too, okay, they shot at the car, why did they have to come back? I mean, my dad could have been alive, and he could have been there for my son and my daughter. Like now, when my daughter graduates college, it'll probably be the saddest day. Neither of my parents will be there.